Good afternoon. Dwayne here, Dry Creek Wrangler School. Saturday afternoon here. All the students from this week left this morning, and I saddled up Ray right after breakfast and went out for a ride. Those of you who watch regular, Ray's the little bay quarter horse mare I got in a little while back, and I got her in for me. She's, I talked on the video last week about how you need wet saddle blankets and good sweaty, tired horses to make good horses. And so that's what she needs. And so today's my only day off remotely. I got to go haul hay tomorrow. And so I thought, well, I'm going to saddle her up and go take her for a ride and just do some work on her. And so we did got this little app on my phone, and I can, it'll track my miles and everything. It's some kind of little GPS something or another. So I did about 10 miles on her, and it was 10 miles of pretty up and down and around across the ranch back up on top of there. The owner of the ranch is gone for 2 or 3 days, and he asked me if I wouldn't mind going back on the back side of the ranch where I had never been before and find a couple of gates that he'd like to have open so the cattle from all the pastures can all come in together. So we went back looking for that. And I had misunderstood his directions to start with. And so I went on the wrong side of the ranch, which was fine because she got a lot of good work. Well, you might ask me, Dwayne, how'd she do? She didn't do very good, but she did great. What was that? She did not do very good, but she did great. See, I had an idea, a picture in my mind of what I wanted the ride to be. It's like it's my day off, and I just want a good, steady ride out there by myself for several hours, just putting some miles and some experience on this mare. And I kind of went through, I said, she's had this much experience, and she's had this kind of experience, and she's been out since I've had her with the other horses this much and with me this much. And so this is what I think the ride is going to look like. This is what I picture in my mind. Problem was, that wasn't a picture she had in her mind. Now that's what I wanted to do today. But she's young, and that's not what she wanted to do. And so I trailered her up, caught her up this morning, and right off the bat, she did not want to get caught, which is unusual for her. She's a sweetheart, and she's really easy to catch normally. But this morning, she's like, no, I don't think I'm up for that. Don't think I want to do that. So I caught her and brushed her and fly sprayed her and saddled her and put her in the horse trailer, and we headed up the mountain. And when we got out of the trailer and put the bit on her and headed out, she fought me every step of the way. She didn't fight as in buck, none of that. But it's like she never put her head down and relaxed and walked out. She chomped at the bit. She kept trying to turn around and go back to the trailer. She just kept, she stopped and balked at every little spring. And we've had so much rain up here, we crossed a lot of springs. At one point, we were to the far end as far as we go, and I'd found those 2 gates. I got them open, and there was a rise that went up behind that last gate. And I said, well, I'm gonna run up that rise and see what's on the other side. Never been back here before. Well, as we rode up that rise, and I kind of course, I'm taller because I'm sitting on top. As I crested the top of that rise, I saw a couple of good-sized calves about 20 yards away, just bedded down in the grass there. And so by the time I said, "My sister, don't you spook," she saw them. One of them stood up, and man, she turned around and tried to head for the barn like she was packing precious mail. She didn't get far, and she didn't buck again. She didn't buck. But she is a cow-bred, athletic little rascal. And when she turns it on, man, she tuned me up like a pretzel. Just twisted me up like one of them Twizzlers, like one of them licorice Twizzlers. And And so I stayed in the saddle, and she didn't go far. She stopped, but it was just her mind wasn't out there. She was still fuzzling and worrying about, how can I get back to the horse trailer? I don't want to be out here. Now, I was aggravated the whole ride, and I'm sure that doesn't help. But I was disappointed because I had pictured what the ride was going to be, and that wasn't what the ride was turning out. I went out there, I wanted to relax, and the ride was anything but relaxing. But you know, did she do good compared to what I expected her to do? Or did she do good compared to what she is? And I think that's only a fair question. Okay? Well, she did not do good compared to what I expected her to do. But then if my expectations were too high, how fair is that? But she did good for a little 6-year-old that's just learning this open country, hasn't had a lot of experience in this, is kind of bound to other horses. She came to me like that. And so all in all, it could have been way worse. So she did good compared to the reality of where she's at. We expect our horses to have our expectations of them. We expect them to, now y'all, I know we had this last time, but we're on a ranch, okay? And there's flies, and that's just part of it, and we ain't gonna do nothing about it, okay? This is reality. This ain't, we don't have Taylor Sheridan out here writing a script, and we don't have somebody out here in a harem outfit with a big palm leaf fan keeping the flies off, and this is what it is. So the flies are real. But we have a picture of what we expect our horse to do. And sometimes the horse, they don't get the memo. They don't have the same picture. Now, my picture was a long, leisure, walking ride to get experience and exercise for my horse, and calmness and serenity and exercise for me. That was my picture. Her picture was to take her day off and stand out here in the paddock and eat grass and snuggle up to Ace. That was her picture of the day. We had two different pictures. And you'll have that sometimes. You'll have that. But you know, I've said on these videos before, you have to ride the horse that shows up. And I don't mean, are you going to ride Boone or Biscuit or Mouse or Ray or whichever horse? No, I mean, today with Ray, this horse showed up. Yesterday, a different Ray showed up. And if I wasn't hauling hay tomorrow, I'd ride her again tomorrow, and it might be a little bit different Ray tomorrow. But whichever Ray shows up, that's the one I have to ride. And that's the one that I need to work with. And that's the one that I need to be patient with. So the question, some folks might ask, how'd she do? But I think the more fair question would be, Dwayne, how'd you do? And, you know, there was no, it was all just frustration wise. How I did I relax and enjoy the ride? No, I did not. So in that sense, I didn't do so well. And I have a whole lot less excuse than she does. So basically, my mare did better than I did. Okay? And you know it was coming. You know this holds true all through life. We get aggravated at people. People just aggravate us something terrible. Because we develop expectations. We develop a picture in our head of how they're going to be, what they're going to do, how they're going to behave. They don't have the same picture in their head. Their head is their head, not yours. Okay? And so you got to meet people where they're at today. Now, I'm not talking about bad behavior, all right? I'm not talking about abuse. I'm not talking about stealing. I'm not talking about corruption. I'm not talking about deception. But heck, buddy, last time I looked around, ain't none of us walking on water. Ain't none of us walking on water. And if you don't walk on water, don't get impatient at somebody else beside of you who can't feed 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fishes. We're all just people. We're all just people. And we have a higher expectation sometimes of those around us than we do of ourselves. And we give ourselves sometimes more grace than we do those around us. But those around us, they did not get the memo as to how we expect them to behave today. Nobody drew them a picture of what your expectations were and what you demanded of them. They're going to act according to who they are and where they're at. Okay? Now, my little mare, she needs to mature. You need to mature. Some of your friends need to mature. Some of your family needs to mature. My little mare needs more experience in the common everyday things of life. Maybe you need more experience in the common everyday affairs of life. Maybe those around you just need more of a better kind of experience. Maybe your family does. Maybe your co-workers do. Maybe they're just on a path of growth and maturity just like you are, but they haven't got as far as you think you have gotten. And so you turn around and you get aggravated at them. Now, again, I'm not talking about bad people. I'm not talking about abusive people. I'm not talking about dishonest people. I'm just talking about people. And your horse? Your horse? Your horse is a horse. Let it be a horse. All right? Your horse is only going to grow and improve to the level that you grow and improve. My horse today was not at the level that I hoped and expected that my horse would be as a horse, but I was not at the level as a horseman that I would expect and want myself to be. So who's more to blame? Your horse is a mirror of you. Your horse will rise or fall to your level. And so if your horse is never at the level you want, who's not at the right level? Who actually needs training? Who actually needs patience? Okay? A lot of times when our horse is not up, they're just reflecting us. And it's not the horse that has a problem. So, I haven't had her very long, and we've ridden some, and she came to me with some issues, just nothing bad, just young, inexperienced stuff, and I have an issue that I've had my whole life of maintaining calm, and in difficult situations. I maintained my calm pretty well today, but internally I was so frustrated that I wasn't getting the picture that I had somehow talked myself into was going to be today. And just, we can't do that. We can't do that with the horses, and we can't do that in life. We can't do that each other. We can't do that with ourselves. All right? Is there a measurement for a bad day that is not defined by a good day? Let me ask that again. Can we define a bad day without comparing it by definition to a good day. And vice versa. We decide what a good day is by comparing it to what a bad day would be. And I didn't have a bad day today. That's not what I'm saying. All right. But as a illustration, you can't have good days if you don't have bad days. If there are no bad days, the good days don't exist. And if you don't have frustrating days with your horse, what are you going to compare to when your horse does everything right? Right as associated with what? Right as associated with things were wrong. When your horse didn't want to be out there, your horse wanted to stay at the barn. Your horse, the mare was in heat. The mare was just cranky. It was a hot, sweaty day. The flies were all about and fly spray just wasn't enough. Okay, that's a less than good day. But what that does is that give you a comparison for when you go out and man, she's right on the ticket. And those days are just like, for me, part of what makes life worth living. But those days wouldn't have any meaning if there weren't days like today. Okay? We just got to kind of chill. I say it, and I say it. And, but we got to take the good with the bad. You can't take someone in your life that you care about and demand that they only give you the good stuff, but you're not going to take the bad stuff. All right? If you care about them, you got to take the bad with the good. You got to take the whole package because they're a package deal. All right? And if the bad is so bad you just can't tolerate it, then throw away the good too and walk away. All right? You're probably not worthy of the good. And you're probably the problem in their life if that's how you're doing it. Your horse is the same way. If your horse has all these good qualities, but they have these less than desirable qualities that you're working through. I mean, for me, it's a dinner plate with a great big 16-ounce ribeye and a pile of vegetables. Somebody done took peas and carrots and boiled them in water and put them on the plate. Well, it's the whole plate. If I want that 16-ounce ribeye, the plate also comes with them peas and carrots. Okay? So just take the bad with the good. Let the bad help define the good. And don't expect that every day that's not the day you expected it to be. I'm tightening that up. When you have a day that's not what you expected it to be, don't expect it to be that bad every day. Because if you expect it to be that bad every day, it will be that bad every day. All right? All right, what we got here is just Partagas Black Label, my number one go-to. I've said it so many times. If they said, Dwayne, you're going to be stranded on a desert island for 1 year, and you can only have one brand of cigar, it would be a Partagas Black Label 6x60. That is my number one go-to cigar. A couple guys have asked me this week, Dwayne, what's your favorite cigars? Well, that's my number one cigar right there. Also want to mention our sponsor. Again, this week I want to mention Rand Hats out of Billings, Montana. I've got more questions this week on this hat. It's a Rand's hat. They built it for me. Actually, they built it for me 3 or 4 years ago, I guess. And it's holds up out here. I mean, my grandkids will be able to wear this hat. It'll be around for years. You've been asking me about the shape, so I'll mention again, the shape is a shape that I shaped myself. So now they've got all the measurements and dimensions and everything. And if you call them up and say, I want the Dry Creek Wrangler hat, they know what you're talking about. Okay. We actually have had, we had 2 weeks ago, we had a student show up here and they hit Rand's before they got here and picked up a hat. And so Rand's is now starting to put out hats like you can get them, they're made now. They'll have some of this here's this hat right here. It's this size and it's for purchase right now. If you don't want to wait the waiting period to have one made specifically to your head, they actually have that available now. And you can find them on ranshat.com. And so look them up. Buy once, cry once. And it's quality. All right, it's quality. So wish you guys all the best. I'm going to say again here, we now have the next year's schedule is on the website, drycreekwranglers.com. All the info is on there and the schedule is up. We already have 1 week in June that's fully booked. We're already booking up for next year. So if you're wanting to get in next year and you've got a particular time that you think that you're going to be reserved to because of work schedule, whatever, you better get on it because it's already starting to book up. All right. And there are some changes. We've made a little bit of tweak to the schedule to kind of give Mom and I a bit more break than we've been getting the last 2 years. Mama says I'm getting grouchy and so I need more time off. No, she didn't say that. But anyhow, go to the website, check things out. And if you're interested in signing up, then call the phone number on there and talk to Mama. You can't sign up online. Everybody calls Mama and you gotta sign up personally. Okay. All right. Well, we wish you guys all the best. And remember, be logical, be reasonable, be safe, be calm, and have fun. And we'll catch you guys next time.